What's up, guys? My name is Doofus Mcdooface, and this is the continuation of my Legion TD2 unit tier list. Today we're looking at tier 3s. I'm going to go a little faster today because I know people are feeling like these videos are too long. So I'll go in as much detail and as quickly as possible, being as concise as possible. So let's start with Banker. I know I just said I was going to go fast, but then you say the unit. Banker for me is a gold generator, an overbuild unit, impact, and really weak on certain waves. But if you get scaling hard enough, they can be insane. Now, I don't think that this should be that high on my tier list anymore. Now, if this was classic, maybe I'd have it higher. But I'm going to throw this down in C. Not D, not D. I'm going to throw this down in C, and the reason being is that bankers and bigwigs allow the person sending them to push hard. They are incredibly weak, even being 100, 200 over on certain waves. And they're just such an overbuildy unit, and I don't really like that. Now, do I use it sometimes? Absolutely. Do I want to use it? Absolutely not. So I'm going to put that down in C. I'm sorry to all the banking players. And once again, if this was the classic tier list, maybe it'd be B or A. Gate Guard, if I didn't put Gate Guard in S, I know that a lot of high elo players would absolutely shred me. Gate Guard is an amazing unit, right? Opening, it's great. With any any mastermind, Gate Guard's going to be great. Why is that? You can get snailed, and the punishment now is what, 33, 42%? You're easily able to be 5 workers with minimal punishment. It is an impact unit just like the banker. Oh, I didn't even look at the banker stat. We'll look at both at the same time to keep up with quickness, right? Yeah, Gate Guard for me, like it's just a great unit, right? It has the synergy with steeds, right? Little nasty, unless you're going for that early game. Gate Guards do have synergy with Butcher too, right? They summon a bunch of dogs, and really the only weakness is like Fiends and GKs, which is the same into bankers, and witches if you get too many Gate Guards. But I think the reason that Gate Guard is so strong and banker is so weak, if we're just doing a comparative analysis, is Gate Guards allow you to push pretty decently, right? You can push pretty hard with Gate Guards. And that is how you win games. So let's take a quick look here. See if I've got it as opening win rate unit. Banker for me was 50%, 2 and 2, 62.5% overall. Wow, a lot higher than I would have thought. Gate Guard is 40%, 10 and 15, 44%. So I guess I suck with Gate Guard. And you know what? A, right? I'm going to drop it to A. I think statistics stand for themselves. It's a great unit, but I guess I'm getting punished with it. I guess I don't have the high level, high elo strategies. But still a really good unit, right? I almost want to jump around and go with Steed. I'm going to. Steed, S tier, right? I'm feeling like this is my tier list, right? I decide who's at the S tier, who's the best units. I mean, Steed, what is there to say about Steed? We all know Steeds. Mana synergy with almost every unit in the game. Steeds are the only unit that give mana, right? I guess Star Caller, but that's pretty expensive. There's just so many amazing builds you can do with Steeds. Magic Arcane, Magician, right? An amazing Legion spell. You can use them. I mean, they're not very strong opening, right? You always need a synergy with them, but that's why it's S, right? It's S for synergy, right? Steeds are S for synergy. S for sacred steeds. Yeah, I mean, I think steeds are really strong. All right, next up we have Infiltrator, Magic, Swift. feel like it's a B or a C, right? Like infiltrators can sort of cover you on like 18 or 15 if you have enough of them with the shurikens, right? But they're costly, right? The shurikens are costly. It's an okay early game unit. But like I don't think you're ever like choosing infiltrator and saying, wow. Actually, I mean, if we're gonna be totally honest, steeds you can be like, wow. Gate guards you can be like, wow. Even bankers for certain people, you might be like, wow, this is the game for me to overbuild. But I never think you're gonna look at infiltrator and just like jump for joy, right? Honestly, I think let's just go straight to statistics now that I'm talking about it. Like, what is my overall win rate with them? Because, right, Steeds, Pegasus 60%, my top 7 or 8. So is Banker. um, I'm looking for Steeds and Infiltrator. Right? Yeah, where are they at, man? Where are they at? Holy moly. I'm about to put you in D. Too bad there's no easy way to really find these units. Infiltrator 45%, 37.5 when I start open with it. That's when I've tried some bad Fiestas. Where was the steed? Am I blind? It's probably, yeah, it's right there. 57%. Never, yeah, 57%, 50%. So, I mean, these are just some of my favorite units is going to be steeds, right? Infiltrator, right? Pirate Skeleton, this is a tough one, man. I think when it first came out, it would have been the A to B. I think I'm gonna put it in B. I think it would have been A for sure. Like I'm sure hopefully you guys have watched my video where I've done like Tree of Life Scallywag. Um, I've even done some Chieftain Cheese where you use the Lost Pilgrim on a Scallywag. I should detail the unit. Pirate Skeleton is a Pure Swift, right? I'm totally spaced out. It's a Pure Swift unit, and it's like a mini Grarl. So you can sell it for 90% of its cost. 72 gold, it costs 80, right? So you get 72 gold if you sell it. And the Scallywag dodges every 5th attack, right? So for every time it's hit, dodge. And it's an okay unit. But I'm feeling like it's just not as strong as it was before, you know? Like wave 7, I used to feel like, oh, I've got a Scallywag, I'm unleakable. I'm leaking with it. Wave 6, a full Scallywag, I'm feeling like I'm unleakable. Leaking people with it. So I feel like ever since it's been nerfed, I would definitely have to drop this. And for me, I'm going to drop it 1 from the A to the B. Yeah. Also, the Chieftain Cheese really broke my heart. Me and L1, I think it was 2 or 3 months ago, had a Nova Cup semifinals, and it was a King Race Wave 20. L1 had a Titaned Spectral Scallywag, the upgrade of the skeleton, and Wave 20 King Race. He was Chieftain cheesing it, so it was a really big unit, but he had Arctear in his role. He had Yuzora and Arctear, and he asked me, should I keep the Scallywag and Chieftain that, using the dodge every 5th attack, or go with the Arctear? I told him the Scallywag, and it was a massive mistake, right? So this is just not that great of a Chieftain unit because it's every 5th attack, where an Arctear could dodge every attack, theoretically, right? So it's not as good as it seemed at first. Just my perspective. Sea Dragon, this is a magic natural unit. Do need to look at this. We should probably just look at the stats at the end. Magic natural. It's a healer. It's an amazing split for wave 5. Can be great with really tanky units. You could do Sovereign. You could do Bunk. You could do Zerker, Yuzora, right? One of Toho, one of my buddy's favorite combos for a very long time was Sea Dragon Yuzora. Because as I described it as that dodge, and this Sea Dragon just keeps healing it. The heal that it throws off does take from its health. And it does work with mana synergies, right? Synergies. Where do I want to put Sea Dragon? I think it's got to be A or B, man. I think it's got to be like, could I put it right in between both and it just like sits there in the A, B? Let's put a B right here before we see statistics, right? Let's go there before we take a look at the statistics. If we do have to have it in B, it's definitely better than skeleton for me. But I think the biggest problem with sea dragons is the amount of time, if you don't have a synergy, that it takes to throw out those heals, right? Because it's slowly throwing the heal out. Because it has like, it still like builds mana before it heals. And so you can have situations where you have too many sea dragons not using their health and your tanks die. And then the sea dragons aren't meant to tank. They're just healers, really. They're just support. And you're sort of like, oh, I guess my tank to sea dragon balance was off. So that kind of sucks. Sea serpent, I really don't like. I know my sea serpent's probably a high win rate. I know last season it was like a top 2, top 3. But I just don't like the unit because it's hard to position, right? What is a sea serpent? Sea serpent is pure swift, highest damage unit in the game. Single damage, I believe. It might be doomsday, but like per DPS, it's extremely high, right? But it burrows under the ground. That's why you always want to build them at the top of the lane. So you have to get that positioning correct. And then you need to make sure that they send snipeable things like shamans, hermits, 4 eyes and things. So it can be counterable by your opponents just not sending any ranged. In addition, sometimes your splits just break down. Like you have them in the back, you have them burrowed in the front, right? But sort of in the back from perspective, wherever you're building, whatever. They're burrowed. They come up, they start attacking something, and then your split breakdown just goes all on them, kills your damage, and your sea serpents are all dead. I'm going C. I'm really coming out aggressive on this tier list, okay? I'm coming out aggressive. I'm just going purely with what my mind's thinking. And I feel like sea serpents just have way more downsides than upsides. They're easy to snipe just based on your splits, not based off sending, right? Just based off splits. Also, you can really waste them away by sending a bunch of cheap ranged. Send like 8 lizards on wave 10. They could have 2 or 3 deep coilers. You could literally leak a couple of deep coilers on wave 10 with enough lizards. It's just the truth of the matter, because they still take time to use that hit. All right, let's check the stats. Am I talking too much dirt on these bad boys? Pirate skeleton 59%. Yeah, 59%. Wow, impressive. Spectral scallywag 59%. All right, man. Now I kind of thinking I might have made a whoopsie. 1 in 3 when I try to fiesta with sea serpents. 55% win rate overall. Okay, that's not amazing, not terrible, but like just not enough for me to really say they're amazing. I just got to go with what I'm feeling. Oh, and then sea dragon. Where are we at with sea dragon? Sea dragon at 51%. Really good opening performance. My best opening performance unit. Wow. Actually, my best opening performance unit. So I guess if I build around Sea Dragon, it's fine. But if I'm just adding it later on, it's not as usable. Oh, wow. Look at Tempest. 4 and 1. What the heck? 53% overall, though. I mean, we got Tempest next. Let's throw it right into the A. I almost want to go with S, right? And it's not because of the my opening performance metric right there. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the reason I would have it so high is, once again, S for synergies, right? Like steeds, you need, right? You have to have steeds for certain combos. Just like Tempest, you almost need for certain combos. Like Phoenixes, right? Flying Force Phoenix, Flying Force Trinity Archer. Just in case you guys don't know, Tempest upgrade to Leviathan. These are Pierce fortified, right? Yeah, Pierce fortified units. They upgrade to Leviathan, which has a double stack. You can stack 2 Leviathans and get a double buff, and it buffs flying units with like an increase on damage, right? So flying units become way stronger. There's no other unit in the game that does that, right? This is another aura unit. And I think aura units they're clearly the best in the game, right? Like Steeds might not be an aura unit, but they're an insane synergy. Just like Tempest are insane synergy with the aura, right? Um, yeah, I mean, there's just now that Trinity Archer, right? Now that Trinity Archer works with this, even the new Goblin Copters work with this. And guess what? The Goblin Copters also work with Steeds now. They work with mana. So there's just so many different combos that you can use with both these units. And yeah, if we go back to the Tempest, right? It's 53%, but still pretty solid. Where is the Leviathan? So when I upgrade those to Leviathans, 55% win rate. Not bad, not bad. 55% win rate when I upgrade to Leviathan, which goes pretty well with Phoenix or Hellraiser. So yeah, I mean, I really do like Leviathan. I haven't used it that much though. Have I really used them that much? I guess is the question. 66 games, so not as much as I'd like to, but still a solid amount. Yeah, I know a really solid opener by a lot of high elo for a long time is just 2 Tempest. Right, just 2 Tempest. They might be a touch harder now with like how pathing is a little different, but they're still really good. Trent, instantly yes, no doubter. I mean, honestly, probably just put in the 1 spot. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. If I were to check the top 5 players in the game right now, I would almost bet you money that 4 of those top 5 have the Trent in their like most used units. If you go like here to your favorite roles, like see Trent's on mine, I would say that 4 of the top 5 players definitely have Trent up there. Oh, and look, Steeds. Hard Skeleton too, but man, I'm gonna keep it where it's at. I'm gonna keep it where it's at. I'm not. I'm changing. I changed my mind. Right? I'm just gonna move it around. You guys have to watch till the end of the video for me to be done. But yeah, Trent. We're focused on Trents right now. We've got Impact Fortified, but the key to Trents is that they start with what 20%, 20% increased damage reduction when you first place them. I believe that's what it is, right? These are insane units. Literally spammable the entire game. There's almost no wave where like spamming Trents is a bad idea. That damage reduction is just insane. It's literally a better unit of the Mudman, right? We'll get into Mudman. That's tier 4. Mudmen's harden, right? They harden and they're 15% stronger, 15% weaker the next wave. Well, Trent, the first wave you place it is 20% stronger, and then it'll still be 15% stronger on the next wave. The only difference, right, is once it scales down. It goes 20%, 15, 10, 5, and then it's just no extra damage reduction. But the thing is, then you can upgrade that I don't know how you would say, but without any damage reduction. Now it has no damage reduction. Upgrade that to a Tree of Life or a Tree of Knowledge, and you're good, right? So I mean, I didn't even get to talk about those, right? Tree of Knowledge, synergy with the Steeds. It's an explosive unit. It literally explodes. Depending on how much mana it has, is how much damage it can output, and it can explode multiple times a wave if it hits that max mana, which with Steeds it can do so. Its ability damage, right? Is that the only unit here that's ability damage? Violets also have ability damage. If you had a rogue wave, works with ability damage. But yeah, the Steed has synergy. And then the Tree of Life unit is just so broken. The other upgrade of the Trent being Tree of Life. It's a mini Ocean Templar, which gives life regeneration based on the HP of the unit. It's just incredibly broken. And it actually had to be nerfed with Scallywag before. They had to nerf it because this combo and that combo, right? The Tree of Life Canopy, Tree of Life Scallywag. These combos were just too strong. They would hit thresholds on early waves to where it literally could not be leaked. Like you could send 200 Mythium on wave 7 of the game, be 200 under, and with certain Tree of Life combos, you could not be leaked. So they did have to nerf it. I guess it makes sense. But yeah, there's just no conversation to be needed with Trent. I mean, I would expect it to be higher on my win rate, to be honest. but it's probably going to have just so many games played. Yeah, over 100. 136 games played. 54% win rate. 44%, 44% though. And I'm going to tell you right now, the reason it has such a low win rate is because usually when I open Trent, I'm going for one of those cheesy strats, right? And those cheesy strats usually include like Sui Cross, which is like full worker push, or some type of memeing, right? They're just such a fun unit to play with. So I will just warn you there. Trent, amazing unit. All right, we got Warg, average unit. Pierce, natural. Um, I just don't like Warg that much. So Warg, just a basic unit, and then it upgrades into Lioness. Lioness, if the unit is either equal to or greater than its cost, which is 85 plus 175, which is what, 260? Right? Yeah. No, 260. If it equals 260 gold or more, it gives a buff, a little damage reduction, little attack damage buff, up to 6 stacks because that's the maximum aura you can do. So I mean, a lot of these tier 3s are like perfect synergies because they're right on the edge. In addition, there's Alpha Male, which is 85 plus 200. This unit is more of just a tank. I mean, it does do some damage, but it doesn't have those crazy synergies. What it does have is damage reduction if it is touching a unit greater gold than it, right? I know it's confusing. And what you can do with the Alpha Male is you can mix it with a lot of these tier 3 units, right? Because a lot of these tier 3 units are less gold than that 285, right? Like the Violet upgrade, the Willowstone upgrade, the Infiltrator upgrade, right? So you can make a Lioness and then correctly have these Alpha Males not touching. You don't want them touching because they would cancel each other out and give each other damage and defense reduction, right? Just to clarify. But yeah, I mean these units are okay. Like the Warg, I feel like for me it's a B, right? Solid tank. Yes, it has the like Lioness synergy to it, but for me it's not like an outstanding unit, but it's also like not like beyond outstanding unit, if you know what I'm talking about. So I'd just put that middle of the barrel for me. We got Windhawk here. Windhawk next. I want to put Windhawk A just because high elo love Windhawks. But in saying that, I might have to look at my own win rate. Like it's a solid Fiesta opener, right? Like you've got Gate Guard, you've got Pirate Skeleton, you've got Windhawk. These are decent Fiestas, right? Some leak to Snail, some don't. Like the Windhawk just leaks to nothing, right? 1 to 2 creeps. So you can sort of fake being Fiesta. Because people are thinking, oh, is he actually Fiesta, or is he just pushing 5 workers? Or is he going for the Violet Wave 2, right? Like a lot of people will just go Windhawk Wave 1 into a Violet Wave 2. Crazy combo. Wouldn't recommend it, but it does happen. It does have synergies also, and so that's where I think it is a good unit. It has the mana. So just for clarification, Windhawk is a impact natural unit, and then the upgrade Violet is also impact natural, but the ability that it does is magic damage. So it shoots a wave of magic damage. It requires mana to do this, or time, right? Generates mana over time. So it can work with steeds, it can work with star callers, it can work with the magician spell, legion spell. It can also work with flying force. So it's a pretty solid unit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying I'm the best with it. But if you get that Violet in the wave 4, wave 5 area, you're gonna be pretty solid up until 7 or 8, and even 7 you're not that bad, right? Like it's the wrong damage and defense types, but it's still an upgraded T3, which is decent, right? So I feel like the Windhawk for me is like A B for sure. A B. Yeah, I mean let's take a look at some win rates here. So we just looked at the Warg. Oh, this bit lower. So we got Lioness at 53%, Warg right here at 53%. Windhawk at 51%, not amazing. Alpha Male 48%. And holy moly, Violet at 48%. All right, let's see you guys down in B. All right, we're gonna send send Windhawk down to B, just based off my win rates. I guess we're gonna have to change it up there. Clearly, I'm probably getting punished as Fiesta, just because it's hard to start Windhawk and not get snailed. Because that's like a 67 to 75% leak, right? So it's not one of these amazing 33% leaks or 58% leak, right? It's not an amazing leak, because I play so much Fiesta, right? But for me, it would be really close, right? It'd be really close to a B or A. But I think I'm gonna put in B just based off win rates. Still a solid unit. Willish Room, Impact, Arcane, Regen unit. I love me some regen units. Because you know what regen units means is it has synergies. So the base of this unit starts at 50% HP, and it slowly heals over the period of the wave, right? Not going to tell you the exact number, but it starts at 50% and it's healing like a couple percent. So the longer the wave is, the longer it doesn't get touched. It can heal all the way to full. It can heal all the way to full and then just continuously heal as it's getting hit, which makes it really sick. It's a really cool unit in the early game. You can get leaked by a snail, wave 1 or wave 2, you know, early waves. Has that Tree of Life synergy because that's health regeneration. Has the Ocean Templar synergy because it has health regeneration. You could even use a Butcher on it, right? And it's another one of these, I think I'm going to go A. It's another one of these units where, like, I know Violet almost should be an A as well. Like, these 4 units right here, if you get their upgrade around wave 4 to wave 5, you're going to be solid on wave 5, 6, pretty much wave 7, right? And that's just beautiful. Being able to push really hard because you have a strong unit here, it's really some pressure off your back, and it's going to make you feel better in the game. So let's just take one final look at Willish Room here. Canopy's at 51%. Willish Room at 54%. Wow. That's crazy that I have that much of a higher win rate with Willish Room than Canopy. So I guess I need to stop upgrading my Canopies and just keep them as Willish Rooms. Let me just take one more final look at this. I know my C's are gonna get a lot of people upset. I know there's gonna be some comments. Please let me know, right? Of course, anybody feel free to make your own tier list. I'm gonna drop the link in the description so that you can make your own. Let me know how close my tier list is to what you would have, or how far if you totally disagree. I feel like bankers just, you need to still push workers. And I feel like this not only allows you to push workers, but it also, like your opponents, it allows your opponents to push workers, whereas you really can't push that hard. And if your teammate, this is like a Sakura, if your teammate kills your bankers, it sucks, right? You lose the goal just as well. Infiltrator, dude, I almost want to put Infiltrator on B. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make an audible here. Oh man, I'm gonna make an audible. But let's keep Sea Serpent at C. Alright, let me get not too deep into this and overthink it. Just because it does have that ability of the shurikens. Let's keep this at B. Shurikens are magic ability damage, just in case I didn't say that earlier. Yeah, let's keep that there. These are just your average of the mill units. Decent tanks, all 3 of them. Some have ability damage, the heal ability, and then the synergy with Lioness. So these are average units. You got your good Fiesta units right here, right? All leak pretty average to a snail. Not too much punishment. Synergy with healing. Synergy with being able to sell, and then that dodge. Spawning a ton of dogs, which has synergy with the steeds as well. And then just these are your actual synergy units, right? Your S tier is truly your synergy units. Your Trent, your Steed, your Tempest, Flying Force, Mana Build, and then you have your option, right? You can just go with spamming the Trent's tanks, or you can go with Tree of Lives or Trees of Knowledge, whether you're trying to do damage or create an unkillable unit. So I like this tier list. I feel good with this. I feel confident, and I hope you guys enjoyed my Legion TD2 Tier 3 tier list. See you guys next time.